Chino Hill State Park, and it was really it was hot, but it wasn't as hot as a month back. We went on a hike that was like really really hot, like close to 100 degrees.
It was the week after we did the hike that wasn't a hike.
Yeah, funny story. If you guys ever used the app All Trails, please follow it directly because I took us off the trail and we were walking on sidewalk.
Not on sidewalk. We're walking on like street for like half of it.
Yeah, for literally no, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Literally the whole thing. We were just like, oh, this kind of sandy part is kind of like a trail.
Half sidewalk, half street.
Yeah, and then we turned on the street.
Walking on people's lawns.
Yeah, and a big landmark of it was we were trying to find when the loop was going to start. So I was just like, no, it's coming. Don't worry. I see it up ahead. But I was looking at the starting marker and not where we were, which was the opposite way. And then we ended up in an opening that led to a freeway, so there was no sidewalk there. I was about to walk in, and then
you still wanted to walk.
Yeah, and you're just like, dude, there's no sidewalk there.
Yeah, that's deductive reasoning.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know my way around. But welcome everyone.
Yes, another session with Ben and Bao and our lukewarm takes.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have everyone here and talking about the things that, I guess, would you say that our opinions are more mainstream or less mainstream?
I'd like to think that our opinions are more or less kind of mainstream, but people don't like to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
So like, so they're not hot takes, they're cold takes, but on topics that people just don't want to mention.
Yeah.
You know, in one of the comments for one of our other episodes, I heard someone that was talking about these aren't really hot takes, which is why I guess I want to bring it up. But I know that a few things that we wanted to talk about are going to be hot takes in themselves. We'll have cold takes for those things. It's just the topics themselves are going to be something that's not really discussed, like
the one that
pedophilia.
commented was he or she enamored by the fact that we were just stating what everyone was already thinking.
It was on the it was on one of our outtake episodes. It was on the spirituality one. So I guess that one's not very controversial, but we'll wait until we get into the thick of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I mean, I think that one I was vibing off of it because I was just asking you about stuff.
Yeah, but too bad we had to scrap it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Even though this is episode 3, episode 3. This will be episode 2. This will be listed as episode 2.
We'll put out the outtake at one point or another. You'll hear a lot of Return of the Mac in the background, which is why we had to scrap it. But
we're sitting on the floor of the new office, though.
Yeah, we're giving this one a try. You know.
Yeah, this one more soundproof. I think that everything's going to be a-okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm pretty glad with how things are turning out. I'm pretty glad with how All Trails worked out earlier.
Oh yeah, this hike once again. This time we were correct, but then it still led us on
onto a street. I think we just have to stop using All Trails.
But...
No. Never mind. You know, hikes are hikes.
Yeah.
Math is math.
Math is math. Exercise is exercise.
Exercise is exercise. Yeah. Everyone get out there, wear a mask, exercise, please.
Yes.
Yeah. If you go on any dates, please be very careful. You shouldn't. I personally don't think you should be going out meeting people that you don't know in today's day and age, right? Or not the day and age, but right now in society.
People swiping through Tinder right now, looking up like, hey.
Yeah, they got that Corona D or the Corona P.
Oh.
And so you gotta be careful. What are your opinions on Tinder, man?
I think it's just. People like to think they're on there to look for a relationship, but let's be freaking honest. Oh, okay. This isn't even a hot take. This is super cool. Like people are on there to hook up.
Okay. Well, what about dating apps in general?
Dating apps in general? Well, I've tried it a bit. I've tried a few things, and I've had myself in a situation where I talked to 2 women. One ended up ghosting me. That's a personal matter in a sense.
Is the ghosting one of those like you slid into her DMs and she just didn't respond?
No, we went on a few dates, and then out of nowhere, she just said, "You're nice, but
Bye-bye.
bye."
Peace. She like that one meme where the kid is just disappearing.
Yeah.
She Thanos snapped out of your
Yeah,
life.
she faded. Like, honestly, and I told my friends about her too. It was almost like she was never there. That's how good it was, the ghosting.
That's how good the sex. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Refer to episode 1.
But the other one was okay, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also refer to episode 1.
That that sounded like a not so okay.
No. She many a times I talk to women, they seem to brush me off immaturely. This one was very mature.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I don't know. Do you think a level of the asexuality that we discussed last time would be attributed to that, or would that just be dating app culture in general?
I mean, I'm a very special case. We can't talk about that. Let's put like another parameter in. You're on a dating app. Here we are. You're now you're now yourself an online personality making a profile. Let's just go through the workings of making one. So then you have to pick yourself a few pictures, and that in itself is one thing, because when you're swiping through pictures, you're purely looking at them based on looks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I see that's fair.
I think inherently we all have a certain way we feel about someone attractive wise, with a few exceptions, right? So what do you think about that?
Well, me in general, I don't agree with so I agree with the liberation of sexuality, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to go out there, you want to have sex with a bunch of random girls or guys, it's completely up to you, because I mean that's sexuality is free, it's liberating. I agree with it. Go and do you. No one should tell you what to do with your body. Mm-hmm. That's also my views on prostitution, but I'll swing back around to that. But I feel as for dating apps, I do not agree with dating apps. And a lot of people in my personal life know how I feel about this, because I'm very strong. I feel very strongly about this. I feel that dating apps breed a culture that is detrimental in the long term. So do you think it enables
hookup culture?
Hookup culture? Yes. I'm not necessarily against hookup culture. Like I feel like hookup culture walks that fine line between sexual liberation and the bad side of dating apps. Mm-hmm. But I feel like as far as dating apps go, it's very important to some of the people going on to dating apps are looking for long-term relationships.
Not Tinder.
Not Tinder.
Most people. Okay, there's several out there. Bumble, OkCupid. I've been on OkCupid. Now there's Facebook dating as of last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they added me for no reason. Like, thank you Facebook for reminding me I'm single.
Well, I've never gotten that notification. I mean, I guess I'm just either too ugly or too taken.
Yeah. But too taken.
Too taken. Taken two.
Yeah. Just the worst one.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about Tinder specifically. I'm talking about just dating apps in general.
Yeah. No, we'll go down the line. So, so we already have pictures out, and that in itself is inherently artificial in a sense, because you're basically just looking at a girl or guy and saying, "I don't like how." Yeah, superficial. Yeah, superficial. And saying, "I don't like how he looks." Swipe left.
Yeah, and that's no way to breed a long-term relationship, especially because so if you're going on to Tinder to find random sex, that's
different.
That's different-ish. I mean, I still feel like as far as sexual liberation goes, it should be more so that you're comfortable with the person, your friends. If you guys want to have sex, you have sex. But hookup culture is a little different from that, where you're just specifically basing it off of people's looks. And then you just like, go ahead, jump the gun, swipe whatever way. I don't have a Tinder. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't you say, like, in hookup culture, people would just say, "Oh, I'm just looking to have sex." Simple as that.
Yeah, the most basic. But then they're selective based on superficial means, right? Mm-hmm. When I feel like sexual liberation isn't as superficial, but maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-colored glasses. Mm-hmm. But say I have a lot of hippie friends. And I also have a lot of older friends that grew up in the 60s.
Yeah.
And both of them with sexual liberation, it was more so like, hey, we're friends, we're buddies, we're hanging out, we'll have sex too, but it's not necessarily like a hook up and never see each other again. It's just they're comfortable with their bodies, they're comfortable with their sexuality,
and they're vibing at a certain time at that.
Exactly. So I feel like it's important for people to express that or not express that, but to be able to have the ability to express that. While hookup culture is very superficial and can be damaging to the psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on both sides. You know, if you're a person that gets a lot of matches, you know, it can devalue relationships in your eyes. And
self-esteem.
Yeah, and self-esteem on the other side is what I think. Is you're someone who can't necessarily find a hookup and you're just kind of hating yourself. When it should be any type of relationship or any type of a physical intimacy should only play the role of helping your esteem or helping you as a person. I don't think any of these things should tear you down because that's the case. It's a toxic relationship, toxic system, toxic ways of being intimate, you know, just all those things.
All right, let's continue. Now you have, how many photos do they put on Tinder these days? I think it's like 6. 6 of your best photos looking for a mate. Now we continue on. Now you have to create, for one, you have to create something like a little summary of yourself. In a sense, to show 2 things. One, you're an interesting individual, please swipe right. If they either go past the attractiveness thing or they like how you look. And 2, to make sure you're real. Yeah, for the most part. So, what do you think about people just putting themselves in summary of how they are on there?
Yeah,
like, for instance, I've seen a few. I really like hiking. I'm a lover of food.
I don't know.
Office is my show.
This the simplification of personalities. This just goes with, you know, you can walk through Tinder with me, but like my opinion isn't going to change. I mean, like, if anything, I want to hear your opinion on these things. But just with the simplification of personalities in general, I feel like that goes along with what dating apps do that's so negative, because you're simplifying your personality and you're meeting up with these people in person, right? And you already have a simplified picture in your head of who they are, their interest, what they look like, their looks. You know, a lot of it's based off of their looks. And what people are looking for is they're nitpicking the things that they don't like about the date. They're looking for a 10 out of 10. And if it's not that 10, they don't follow up with the second date. And I know I'm wrong in a lot of instances, but I've heard things from both sides. People that are just like, oh no, I'm very open on dating apps, and people that aren't very open. And out of the people that I talk to, most people are very selective on dating apps.
You know what I could equate that to? I just realized something. If you guys have ever been in a marching band, that's kind of how they judge. What you're speaking of in terms of judging a person on the most simple basis of things is putting them out of 10. Oh, I see he doesn't like animals, minus 0.5. Oh, I see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the same exact thing for marching band, which is why a lot of people think marching band judging is flawed. Because they start at 100 points. Then they notice a guy marching off. They mark down each and every single time. So, yeah, that's actually a very, very good analogy.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because I used to be in marching band.
Me too.
No, but yeah, I feel like, especially in a long-term relationship where you're supposed to breed emotional and physical intimacy with this person, it is very flawed, because if you were to meet more organically, say through a friend or a person that was your friend that you developed into a relationship, you wouldn't look at small quirks for reasons not to go on a second date. You know, you typically look for things that are the things that they're doing right as more romantic, and the small quirks that they have, those are particular things that separate them from everyone else. You know, say I chew with my mouth open, for example, right?
Uh-huh.
If you see someone off of a dating app and they're chewing with their mouth open on the first date, that would be your reason not to see them again. However, if you met someone more organically, you guys were friends for 2 years and then you start dating, and it still may be a pet peeve, but you could be like, I really like how Frank chews, or I don't really like it, but I think it's cute how Frank chews with his mouth open.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quirk that you guys have developed to love about each other, because relationships aren't looking for the perfect person. It's loving the person for all of their flaws. And that's what dating culture kind of moves away from.
Yeah. And I told you that with my experiences of using dating apps. And I personally use OkCupid because, like I said, Tinder really does hammer down the hookup culture. But one of the ways I take away from any sort of like superficial thing, I guess, is, and it's, I heard scientifically and strategically this isn't the way to go to have a successful match, but I right swipe everyone.
More than just scientific.
Yeah. But in a way, that's my part of not judging them by looks. There's still a lot wrong with that, but it's like a small part of me that is avoiding what most people do when they get on those apps. And I have successfully matched that way. And then at that point, then I just talk to them. Simple as that. See where things go from there, you know?
I think it's a little strange going into that situation, knowing that everyone that matches with you is looking specifically to be in a relationship. And to elaborate on that, I guess in your day-to-day life, just talking to anyone would be technically a right swipe, right? Because you have to right swipe in order to start a conversation.
Yes.
But these people, even though they're open to the idea of relationships, they're not going into this thinking whether or not this person is relationship material. So I kind of feel like in a more natural sense, people vibe off of that and you have more successful relationships. While on a dating app, if you're right swiping everybody, then I feel like that's going into a room of people who want a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And just openly talking to everyone until you find a match. And I feel like that...
It's still quite superficial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'm not on it. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. And what I usually got when I talked to people on the app, it was always the same thing. I'd get a question given. I say, why are you on OkCupid? In this instance, at least. And they always give me the same answer. I'm just looking for friends, but if it turns into a relationship, then good for me.
People on OkCupid? Oh, is that like is that a category? People look for friends? Or is
that's
it just
literally anytime I match with them and I ask them that question, that's what they give me. I'm looking for friends.
That's kind of sad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about...
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe in our age range, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, man, that's really sad. Damn.
Oh, did you... has that not hit you?
What a downer, Ben.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I'll let you continue.
Okay, well, what if people... no, what I was trying to get at was maybe they were lying to themselves and trying to look for a relationship. But what it seems like you were trying to get at was maybe these people didn't have friends at all. Which I feel bad for them. And if they're on there just to look for friends, then good for them, you know?
I mean,
at least they're just trying.
Maybe you should try a friend app. Or is
it has the option for new friends. Like it gives you the option for what you're looking for. You could look for a long-term relationship, a short-term relationship, hookups, or new friends.
Okay. And
people tend to skew those options to best benefit themselves.
Oh, I see. So they like check all the boxes and then just get whatever.
Exactly.
I see.
I myself put long term.
Yeah. I see.
But it never, like I said, skews. So people will tend to say, "Oh yeah, I'm just looking for friends." But if it turns into a relationship, okay. But I think those people are lying to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because why are you on it? Unless you're legitimately, in Ben's case, looking for a friend.
Okay, but the people that are looking for friends, are they limiting their matches to just the opposite sex?
Oh, good point.
Because if they're
a friend's a friend, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good point.
If they're really looking for friends and they have both sexes open, then I'd say that's fine.
But I can never know.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
So I mean, I guess there's that. But yeah, I mean, it just depends because I've never been on OkCupid. I wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say as far as that stuff goes, and somewhat of a disclaimer for anyone who isn't using a dating app but still actively looking for relationships, don't. I'd say the most.
No, you and I talked about this.
Yes,
I've asked you. When was this? This was like last November too. I said I probably just want to go on it, you know. And I admit during this entire month and a few, or 2 months and a few, I was not vibing well off the social structure of how everyone's always in a relationship, especially at my age. And now I've come to accept that I'm totally fine with where I am, and I'm 100% genuine about that. I know people out there that say that they're fine with being single, but they are usually the loneliest ones.
Yeah. I'd say what's important, and you're going to hear this on 1,000 self-help books, but to really understand, you really do need to be comfortable with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When looking for a relationship, if you're actively looking, whether it's on some sort of dating app or in real life, you're either being too selective with whatever partner is looking for the perfect person, or you're allowing yourself to be in unhealthy relationships because you're willing to look past the person's red flags in order to be in a healthy relationship. Or sorry, you're looking past their red flags in order just to be in a relationship.
Okay, yeah.
And what's really important is if you're just comfortable being yourself, doing what you do, you meet someone naturally through your personal hobbies or through wherever, it'll be more of a genuine connection. And the fact that you weren't looking for a relationship, once that blossoms, the relationship will be wildly successful because you two aren't settling or reaching for the next person. You're just with someone that you're comfortable with, and the relationship just works.
Yeah. I had a talk with someone, and it made me, maybe I had that talk with you too, but we talked about how we felt. She was a friend of mine at UCI, and I asked her about how she goes about dating. And she says, I'll admit it, when I'm talking to a guy and I find someone more interesting, I'll just say, oh, I'm talking to another guy as well. I want to be blunt about it, and I want to be direct. And I said, honestly, that's kind of admirable. You know what you want, stuff like that. And she asked, what about you? And then I said, I think my biggest flaw and my biggest strength is that I put myself at 100% with every relationship that I take too personally. And so far, that has been my biggest flaw, at least in terms of trying to make a relationship, because it could come across as clingy. Yeah. But for some reason, it just boggles me, because I am a very extreme, maybe because of how I am physically, but I just think that hookup culture is just a waste of time, a complete waste of time.
I agree with that.
Honestly.
But and maybe this is coming from a biased lens, but I feel like no matter what relationship you're in, if the end goal is marriage, right? Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Then you should be giving your 100%.
Yeah, no, and
yeah.
and we came to the solution of
a conclusion.
Yeah, you're talking to someone, you want to be in a relationship, give everything you got for them, because why would you not? It's if you want to see them at their best, they would want to see you at your best. You should never half-ass it, be douchey about it, look for ulterior motives. And if you are not at 100%, that means you're not ready
for relationships.
I
agree. The other person deserves to get you 100%, because otherwise you're just wasting your time and their time. Mm-hmm. They can be out looking for not only a more suitable match, but someone who's willing to give them more of themselves. And if you're out in the relationship and you're kind of being reserved, then it's just not fair to the other person. And I know that there are other instances where that's not even though that's the case, they've been damaged, or they're not ready to give themselves. And it's important to self-love, but I would say to those people in relationships, either be comfortable with having your partner help you through those things, mm-hmm. and being as open as you can, or work on yourself before even getting into the relationship. It's okay to say, I'm not ready for a relationship. You don't want to hold back somebody from their future just because you want to put them, in your shopping cart for a later date.
Yeah, and that's why my most recent one was very mature. She knew that she was not ready, albeit maybe it was a little too late. But I wouldn't. No. Yeah. No. She just was looking for someone to hang out with. You know what I mean? And she let me know. So it's all good from there. But it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Hookup culture is such a waste of time. I think I speak very strongly.
You're adamant about this.
I'm very, very adamant about this.
I feel like that too, but like I said, I feel like there's say someone who doesn't want to be in a relationship, they're working on themselves.
Yeah.
They're hanging out with friends, and they're in a place that they're comfortable without feelings getting attached, having sex with that friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think most times friends with benefits does not play out well. But if you're in a place and the other person is in a place where you guys can 100% get on the same page, and you're not in a relationship, you're just having sex to satisfy your physical needs, I think that's fine. But I think with hookup culture and most situations with friends with benefits, it's not fine because one person develops feelings because they're not in the right headspace. Or with hookup culture, like I said, it breeds dissatisfaction with relationships because people are superficial and they're focusing on looks and they're hurting the self-esteem of others. And there's a very thin line between that and fully embracing sexuality. Yeah, that's how I feel with what you were saying earlier with your friend that says that she's seeing other people when she's seeing that person.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair, or do you just personally
fair to them or fair to her?
Or do you think that it's okay for people to be seeing other people in the dating stage? So they're not boyfriend or girlfriend. They're not exclusive. They haven't established anything. Do you think it's okay?
I mean, if I put myself in that experience, I'd be okay with it. I don't know if people can be very possessive. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, if you're in that headspace of dating, I think the whole entirety of that is you are inclined to talk to other people.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, so I think her being bluntly may not seem fair to people, but at least she's being honest.
No, I think within, like you said, the headspace of dating, that's 100% fair. And she's more than not just capable, but welcome to be doing what she's doing. However, I think I've said previously,
the genuine.
I just think the headspace of dating is not the right headspace to be in for finding a suitable relationship. I guess I'm just working through this right now in my head. I'm okay with that. I'm just not. I just think the situation of dating itself, like going around seeing for a potential match, is just a recipe for failure. I just think that you should be comfortable with yourself
because it's an ounce of superficial.
Yeah, you're screening candidates for your relationship. I mean, and it's always been like this. There's always cases of superficial ways of meeting people, but the older generation, speaking to them, I get more so genuine and healthy meetings. Say, one couple that I know, they're older, they're in their 60s already, but the way that they met was they met at a function that they were hosting together, right?
Okay.
It's not like she was seeing a bunch of people. It's not like he was seeing a bunch of people. They were both hosting a function together. I believe it was a party for charity or for a motorcycle club or something. I don't know. And they started to hang out, and that hanging out blossomed into a relationship. Then he dropped all of his previous obligations. She dropped all of her previous obligations. They got together. They had a kid. They got old as shit, 60s. and that's just how it is. And the more people from the older generation I talk to with successful relationships, it usually goes like that. However, when I speak to people that have been divorced, I usually get I was dating a few people and I met her, or say like they met at work and
Oh no.
yeah, and it was more of a screening relationship, as in this person will be suitable for me rather than I married the person that I love.
Yeah. Remember when we went to that one club? We usually just go to clubs to dance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was this one particular club we went to. I don't remember the name. No one was dancing. And I was slowly coming to realize what people in that club were doing. It was basically
the one near the beach, right?
Yeah,
yes.
It was basically just Tinder, but everyone was
in real
there.
life. Yeah, okay, so
That and in that instance and realization of what was happening to me, the vibe of it was and you told me yourself that you just have to go and talk to people. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I was extremely put off by it because I said, at least in a bar or like a dancing club, like
there's stuff to do.
Yeah, there's stuff to do. Yeah, sure, there's the ulterior motive and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But when you're in there, you know exactly there's only one thing they want.
Yeah.
Well,
taking the dating apps out of the picture, my problem isn't necessarily the dating apps themselves. I don't like club culture either. I like the idea that you can go and have fun at the club.
Yeah.
But with that one in particular, where you're going to the club to meet a hookup, that's the root thing that I don't like. I don't think that you should go to places or be on apps screening people.
Yeah.
For your sexual experiences based off of looks and first impressions. Mm-hmm. I believe that there's a lot more to a person than just how they cleaned up that day and their opening line.
Well, yeah, and then we could go back to your old friends that you knew. Imagine you're going to a charity for an ulterior motive. It would not only be.
Well, there's just a thousand things wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, we're just giving money to the children. Oh, hey there.
Hey, girl, I like what you're wearing.
Yeah. Do you have anything to donate, Mr. So-and-so?
I got this D.
Yeah, I got this.
I'll donate you this dick at the end of the...
Mr. So-and-so. Think of the children. I'm thinking of my children.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, no. But yeah, I think meeting people doing the things that you actually love to do, not expecting that you're going to run into someone from the sex that you're attracted to, is more wholesome and a better recipe for relationships.
It's a sense of commonality too, because we always vibe with people that we have in common with.
Yeah.
If you're starting off with the basis of not knowing them at all, you have to find that commonality. Yeah. You're enforced upon themselves. They were at a charity, so they knew two things about themselves. One, they liked giving to people. They liked doing charitable events. And they were probably relatively good-hearted people. Yeah. There you go. 3 things you got in common right there.
Versus meeting someone at the club or on Tinder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could find something in common there.
Yeah, you're just, I mean, yeah, I guess so. But I feel like you're more so sifting through all the shit to find
the baggage.
Find that gold nugget. And if that's another thing, baggage. Oh my goodness. See, people dating other people with baggage, I feel like there's 2 ways to go about this. Yeah, you either have to be a supporting partner with another partner that's open to growing together as a couple, or both partners have to understand that if you're not willing to grow together as a couple, then you're not meant to be together, and to work out your baggage alone, or not alone, but work out your baggage through yourself before getting with another person or jumping into another relationship.
Well, we talked about how they're... Oh, my goodness.
You okay?
Yeah, ignore that vibration if you guys hear that. But,
Okay, you okay?
There we go. I'm sorry, my phone was going off. But, you said that we had
Continue.
Yeah, you said we had in a relationship setting, like what you just described, there's 4 instances. You have one couple where both people are inherently independent people.
Yeah.
And then you have another one where, what'd you call it for? I guess 3 instances. One is independent. One is dependent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you have the third one where people, both parties are basically both codependent. And I think you said the best, or you said that there are pros and cons to each of them, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so obviously coming together as two independent, complete people separately is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
You know, you're both coming together knowing that you're complete people, and the reason that you're together is just because you love the other person for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You're complete, they're complete. It's not like they complete you or you complete them. You're just two strong individuals that come together for a stronger whole.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're both dependent on each other, what a lot of people will preach is that you have to work on yourself before being in a relationship. You have to figure out independence or whatever. But it's okay to be dependent on your partner. You know, I want to make that clear for everybody. It's okay to be dependent on your partner. It's not okay to be toxic or to be so dependent on them that you can't operate without them. But to be dependent on your partner, if your partner is also dependent on you, say you guys met in junior high or high school, you can grow together. A high schooler isn't well adjusted to society as soon as they graduate.
Oh yeah.
You grow together. You learn. You go through difficult times. You graduate school. You find jobs. You find passions. You grow together. And if that person needs room to grow, their partner is more than able to support that if the relationship is healthy. Mm-hmm. So two dependent people, two independent people, that's perfectly fine. What's not okay is if the dependency is a negative type of dependency where you're stopping or stunting the growth of your partner, where your dependency, you need your partner to, let's say, not necessarily support you, but you're in a place, in a mental state where you need your partner to let go of their obligations, ones that they're striving for, just to help you through personal baggage. There's a way to go through that. That's okay. But a lot of those times, what you need to do is develop a little more independency if your partner's not able to be there for you, or maybe you guys shouldn't be together.
It's kind of like resolve your own issues.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can't rely on your partner for everything. They're there to help you grow, but you can't rely on them for every single thing that comes your way. And then if one is independent, you will see this with a lot of people that are older, that are dating like an 18-year-old or something. I see it all over your face.
Yeah, how old are we talking here?
Okay, so
Dave Chappelle. How old is 15 really?
We're not talking about that. But let's say a partner is 25. I'd say 25 is a well-established age where you may not have everything figured out, but you're well adjusted to the outside world. You know somewhat of your place in society. Of course, no matter how old you are, you will always become more adjusted with age. But you've already established yourself somewhat in the workplace. You already have a direction of your life. You're 25 and you're dating someone that's 18. That 18-year-old will definitely be dependent. And it's very hard to make those relationships healthy because the 18-year-old needs room for growth. And
lots of room.
Yeah, lots of room for growth and maturing and maturity. And what she'll get from she'll get that, sorry. Or he.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess I'm a guy, so I'm just assuming.
Oh, yeah, we just put off.
Yeah, but where he or she will get that is either being single and having room to grow by themselves, or being with someone else that needs room to grow, and they support each other through these issues. If you're older, it's a little hard to let that stuff happen, just because you have responsibilities. You're looking for someone to establish a life with you, and that other person is not ready to establish a life like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still need to, let's say, not always, but go to school or find out what they want to do in life. And there's situations against that, but in general, they need to find themselves first.
Yes. So Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I just talked for way too long.
Nah, yeah, it's okay. You're really invested in that. And we talked about those three dynamics, and it's a really good way to gauge a couple. Honestly, it's just off those three dynamics. You could just be like, oh yeah, they're both pretty independent people, and I mean, I would say I remember hearing Will Smith talk about how when both people are happy, then you could grow happiness together.
Yes.
But now we know that's not really the case anymore with them.
I definitely don't agree. I don't agree with what Jada did on more than one instance. Not only did she do Will dirty.
Not the cheating part. No. Cheating's bad, guys. We already know that.
Not only did she do Will dirty, but she took advantage of an emotionally damaged young man.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
If it were a male in that situation, I have no doubts in my mind that society would have ripped him apart. If he were in his 50s, in a high-profile job and a high-profile relationship, one that you hold power over a young female in her 20s, and you cheated on your wife, and just labeled yourself as emotionally independent and able to do whatever you want, they would rip him apart.
Yeah, that's just, oh, you're being arrogant. Extremely arrogant.
Exactly. It's not okay for him to do it, and it's not okay for Jada Smith to be doing it.
Yeah, and then I heard with Jada Smith doing it, the talk ends up being, well, what did Will Smith do? Just like, really? I mean,
I think he handled it very well.
He did handle it very well. He's definitely damaged by this.
Yes.
And people putting up memes and jokes and images of that screenshotted crying face of him does not help one bit.
Yeah, you know, male self-help or emotional therapy is a fucking joke.
Oh, yeah.
People don't take that seriously. Mm-hmm. A lot of males have mental issues, and it's played for laughs on
everything.
Yeah, and everything. I mean, look at Kanye. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And him running for president is the worst thing, and he's as of right now, he's being a terrible person.
Did you hear today?
He
basically admitted that his votes are so people don't vote for Biden.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not hear that.
It. What? He said, "Yeah, I'll admit it."
What? Okay, hold on.
He's internalizing it. Hold on. 5 seconds silence.
I have so much to. My original point being, I don't even want to vouch for this guy anymore.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, seriously, he said that.
That's terrible. Okay, wait, hold. So my original point being, he had an emotionally vulnerable moment in front of a large crowd of people. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been the same since his mom died.
Of course.
And he cried. And people are posting memes and playing it for laughs, and instead of just saying, get this man some help. We can still negate votes away from him and get him help without being negative. Mm-hmm. It's important for males and females to have representation for mental health, because it's something that has been adopted by mainstream culture for as far as the female audience. But when it comes to males, you know, they're told to toughen up.
Yes.
And like, men aren't supposed to have feelings.
Yeah,
but
the certain masculinity that you have to have.
Yeah.
As a default.
Exactly, and it's sad, and I wouldn't want to raise my kids in a world where they're taught that their feelings don't matter. Yeah. But now that you brought this issue to my attention, what the fuck?
Yeah. If we're talking about how he has mental issues, fine. Let's get him help for that. But the fact that he straight up admitted what he's there for means that's not.
Yeah, really... no, fuck his help.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck this guy. He doesn't. But no, really, he really needs mental help.
He does need help.
But how could he? This is my brain is just rattled. Okay, why would he just can't? I'm trying to formulate a thought. I'm sorry. It's important for civil rights and equality to be brought to not only America but across the world. There's many, many, many places in the world, outside and inside of America, that things are not equal for people of color, people of certain genders, people of certain sexualities. And regardless of what your political views are, it's important that everyone across the board has the same rights. Classism, sexism, racism, all of those things are topics that need to be talked about, but it should be talked about in a way that one person is not more important than another person.
Yeah,
because
I like to think all those isms that you just mentioned are all products of evil human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if we strip that all away, then we just have us, humans, and basic problems.
Yeah.
like she has my girl.
Yeah.
Simple stuff. And
but the current system in the US right now is not supporting of that.
mm-hmm.
And we're seeing a lot of regression as far as rights of individuals and viewpoints on equality. A lot of those things are going backwards, and it doesn't matter how you feel on this issue. In the last 4 years, hate crimes have gone up. The people in office currently have been trying to repeal gay rights. Those things are facts.
Yeah.
No opinions based on it at all. Those things are 100% facts.
They're trying to strip away Medicare or Obamacare.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is taking away rights when we should be giving rights to be supporting equality. So whether or not you agree with his political views, what's important is that you just get those types of people out of the office, because politics are politics. But human rights should not be a political issue. Everyone should have rights, and that should be supported by whoever is in power to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone of such high status like Kanye to want to take that away, or to want to negate votes for the party that I have my own problems with the Democratic Party. I don't fuck. He's running as a Democrat, I think. But I have my own.
You can only have one.
I have my own issues of the Democratic Party as well. It's not a black and white thing. I'm not Democrat or Republican. You go with whatever issues or whatever politics are most prevalent at the time. But as of right now, it just seems like for the past 4 years, the Republicans have been on the whole, let's take away everyone's rights.
Yeah, they're on that. They're on a crusade.
Yeah. So, but for the fact that someone that holds as much status and power as Kanye in the public eye, wanting to take away from a party trying to liberate those freedoms, is just despicable. And Biden is. I have my views on Biden as well, but he's definitely more welcome right now than Trump is, because Trump attacks people. He pits people against each other when he's supposed to be, say specifically right now, his job is to bring everyone together so we can fight the pandemic and the other issues that America is facing. However, what he does is he divides people, and he points and he plays the blame game. He says it's...
No, yeah, he finds something that is divisive and just takes it tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it should have been no question for distance learning. It was as simple as that.
Wearing a mask should not be a political issue.
Yeah, no. Again, it was no question that all schools was going to end up distance learning. Aside of all the budget stuff and paying way skyrocket hot rates for college, it was going to be online teaching. Then, this guy goes around and says, let's open up schools. We need the kids to go back to school. And we're just like, but we are.
But mail-in voting is not. I mean, but voting in person is not safe.
No, yeah, and then we are. It's just going to be online. We are going back to school. No, it's got to be in person.
Got to stimulate those economies, brother.
Yeah, and you know what happened? Now our children are getting sick.
People are dying.
Yeah, people are dying.
People are dying.
And if you really wanted to care, then I'm going to bring up the children again. Why are our children slowing dying? because we opened up the schools.
Yeah, I feel like as far as politics go, it's it's important to just support human rights before the whole political talk starts. I think if we're going to be talking about left or right, though, we might need to bring on a guest with an opposing viewpoint just so we can have the other point of view.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to make it as just basically human as possible. Like,
Yeah.
the rights that we deserve. It's not a privilege either.
I know.
I know that that's how news end up skewing themselves to be a biasy. I only really look at actually, I get my main news source from Reddit, which probably I probably shouldn't do that either. But
Reddit's a credible source
for the most part.
for the most part.
Yeah. Just know that. Just know the things you look at. You know what I mean. But
Be
there is
wary.
one source that I look at that never skews a party. What they do, they're called ProPublica, and they only post news issues that deal with human morality. It's as simple as that. They post, this guy's doing malpractice with his business. They're going to post news about that.
Yeah.
Recently, they've been on flack because they did something actually pretty insane. They released every single name of every New York police officer
Holy shit.
and the activities they did. They just posted it.
Wow.
It's really bad what those names and all of that suggest, but people are saying they should not have done that. That was extremely bad, you know?
Did you hear about Illinois? They made it illegal for you to record a police officer without their permission.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's fascism at its best.
Yeah.
This is when things start to go south real quick for the United States. But with what I was saying a little earlier, I know one of our Patreon, someone that's subscribing to our Patreon. He's on subscribe to our Patreon, by the way, guys. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram,
we're doing our
Facebook.
best to put up all the social media we can.
Yeah,
we created several.
I see my editor just telling me to go with it. He's editor's in the background telling us to plug, so we're plugging shamelessly. But someone on the Patreon, what I was trying to say, is in our local city council. So maybe we'll have him as a guest on the show. And we can get his point of view on things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know that we live in a Republican city. So maybe he can give us his point of view on
Republic.
on Trump or stuff like that. That's yeah, but I think that'll be a good thing to go about because we obviously have our biases as far as that. Yeah, I'm trying not to be biased.
And we're even admitting that we have biases. I think that's the first step, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just pro human rights. I try to look at the least biased sources as possible.
Yeah, we'd be the perfect individuals and newspaper writers for ProPublica, honestly.
Yeah,
they would love people like us, and they're also nonprofit. So now I'm just freaking vouching for ProPublica.
Yeah, just plug in Republica too. Yeah. Follow us on.
And they won awards too.
They did? Yeah. What kind of awards?
They posted several. I would have to look into it. I don't want to be unsourced, but they posted several articles that, again, talked about the malpractices of several businesses, and they ended up winning awards for it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I like that. Do they are they going crazy with all the human rights violations that Trump does? Are there all their stories about Trump recently?
I feel like I looked into it and not really. Okay. They tend to do international things too as well.
Oh, I see.
They skew around.
You mean not skew?
They because skewed they brought them themselves.
Yeah. Skewed would be a biased point of view.
I think in their mindset they're just like, I think every news source is already doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Maybe I'm being too harsh to the right. Yeah. I'm a middle guy, so don't hurt me.
Yeah. I think we're just about getting there to the hour.
To the hour,
correct? Yeah. To the hour.
Let me check. I kind of got wrapped up in our conversation. Yeah. Is it time to wrap things up, guys?
You didn't notice that maybe 20 minutes ago we were talking about relationships.
Oh, we went from relationships to politics.
Yeah. In summary.
We don't even need a summary, but
I you know how I always end a conversation with in summary.
Okay,
in summary, if you guys tender and appreciate our advice. Try to avoid a dating app if you're looking for a valuable relationship.
And avoid a club, which shouldn't be too hard right now.
Oh yeah, no. If you're in a club, I have more questions.
just be comfortable with yourself as far as relationships go.
Yeah.
And
if someone I can vouch for it personally, and I may be just a little bit different than most people sexually, but I am completely comfortable with how I am. I can be single. However, if I land myself in a situation where I meet a girl and I vibe with her, I'm gonna vibe with it.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, take every relationship to heart. Friendship, relationship, 100%.
Don't be that person out there that's like, girls ain't shit. Like, fuck those guys. And then those girls that are like, guys ain't shit. Yeah. No, what's important for someone to be is, like you said, be comfortable with not being in a relationship. And if someone comes along to you or around you or whatever, someone comes along that's a perfect match or that you vibe with, not even a perfect match, just you want to be with them for the rest of your life, that should be the main focus. And you just go off of that. Don't look for someone. Don't try not to look for someone. Just be you, work on you. And if someone comes, someone comes. I think that's where the best relationships are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you want to get away from the girls ain't shit, guys ain't shit scenario, I saw a video the other day where I don't know who the guy was, but he had a few hundred women in the audience talking about relationship advice.
I think I've seen this video.
Yeah, and she asked him, "Oh, so I've been in a relationship for this guy for several months now, and so I'm just wondering when I should start paying." And then he said, you should never expect him to pay you. And then all these women got kind of riled up, and he's just like, "Okay, so you're expecting me to pay you? I'm expecting you to have sex with me." And they were just like, "Oh my god!" But like, damn, he went there. But then he explained himself, and it made a lot more sense. Yeah. It's like,
I mean, I agree. Not with the.
I agree, but that was just an extreme example.
Yes, I agree.
And he said, if the girl is expecting you to pay for him, she was not raised right. And if the guy doesn't pay for you, he was not raised right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something similar with what I was always taught in a relationship. With something that I'm seeing a lot more nowadays is who comes first, your wife or your mother?
Yeah.
What I was always taught growing up was a good husband will always put his wife first. A good wife will never make her husband put her first. Mm-hmm. Because you shouldn't expect things in a relationship. A relationship should be equality. We're pushing for equality, right? Girls out there, you should not expect a guy to pay, even for the first date. You're independent. You're strong. You should be you and don't expect anything from a man. Men out there, chivalry is important, but don't sacrifice your morals for chivalry. It's important that you don't expect anything from women, whether physically or financially.
Oh, no. He put it even better. What you would do for a woman, you would do for your best friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When as far as relationships go, you would want to do this because it's your significant other.
Yeah.
And not because you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
You know, women shouldn't be expected. To clean the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to have sex
and then girl goes on a date with a guy. She shouldn't expect him to pay for her meal. The same way if she went out with her best friend, she shouldn't be like, "Oh, sorry, you're gonna pay for my meal, best friend."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing that is wrong with dating culture. And here we go again with the dating culture.
Full circle.
I think that people should be. Hold on a second. Sorry. Oh, looks like we're rounding up at the hour. Let me just stop by saying this. Don't expect men to pay for you. Don't expect women to clean the house. Equality is equality. Guys don't have to walk on a certain side of the street. Girls, you don't have to have sex with a guy just because they want you to. Just do you. Be happy with the relationship. And I guess we're out.
You're good. I would have said that, but a minute longer.
Okay, all right, guys. This has been Ben and Val. We'll see you guys in the
Not the
next
food.
episode. Not the food.